Hey guys, it's Mike. I put a Twitter poll up this morning asking what type of videos people would like to see, and the majority of people that responded said that they would like to hear my top five quarterbacks for this upcoming NFL draft. Obviously, the declaration deadline has not come yet, so this is all speculative. Um, we'll know officially in January once that deadline passes who's in and who's out, who's going back for another year. But if everything goes the way I suspect it to, all five of these guys are going to be in the draft anyways. Two have already declared as underclassmen. Two are we're waiting, word as to whether or not they're going to come out, and one's a senior, so he's out there anyways. So before I get into who they are, I just want to say this: this class of quarterbacks is weak. It's a pretty weak class. I'm not sure if I would take any of these guys in the top five. I have one that is ranked in the top 10 in this class as a top 10 player, two that I would draft in the first round. And overall, these top five all appear in my top 75, which is my big board right now. It's not up to its full 100 yet, and yeah, that's pretty bad. Last year in my top 100, I believe I had seven or eight quarterbacks. This year, we may have five. That's it. Not a very good class. So without further ado, let's get into this. Number one is Mitch Trubisky, the quarterback of North Carolina. Now he has not declared yet, so this could all be for naught in a couple of weeks. The knock on Trubisky, unlike the other ones, is that he's only got 1 year of starting experience, and he came in for a couple of games in relief last year. Now, people are going to wonder if 13, 14, 15 games is enough to establish someone as a premier quarterback. Cam Newton didn't have more than a full year. But to be honest, he's got the best arm. He's probably the most accurate. He's got the size. He's got the intangibles. He's got everything you want in a quarterback. The knock on him is the experience. But you watch his tape, he's the most pro ready in the least amount of games out of everyone on this list. He is right now rated as my 10th overall player in the class. I fully expect him to come out, and I think if he does, he's going to be the first quarterback taken off the board. Where that it will be, I have no idea. Next up is DeShone Kizer, the quarterback from Notre Dame. If anyone's had a more up and down year as far as at the position, it's DeShone Kizer. I was late anointing him the top quarterback. Wasn't until about week 4 or 5 of the NFL season where he eventually took that spot from Deshaun Watson. I saw a lot of people anoint him as the top quarterback easily after the very first game of the season against Texas. Now, I need to watch at least 3 games. So I watched 3 games, and you know what? By the time that I had watched 3 games from this season, he had taken over the spot as the number one quarterback. But then his numbers fell off, his production fell off, his play fell off in that second half of the season, and it's not entirely his fault. Notre Dame had a terrible year. Their coaching was awful this year, and it did nothing to help Deshaun. But at the end of the day, Trubisky overtook him. He has already declared, Kizer that is, Kizer's already declared for the draft. I fully expect him to be a first round pick. Um, I mean, he's 6'4", he's 230, he's a dual threat quarterback. He's got what the NFL's looking for. He just needs to clean up his mechanics. He needs to clean up a bit of his throwing motion, and hopefully he has a good combine. He doesn't have something like the Senior Bowl to fall back on. But then again, none of my top four do. Number three is Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson checks in as my 30th ranked player. So that's kind of that fringe first round. Usually my top 25 are first round locks, I would say. So he's kind of that fringe first round, probably an early day 2 pick at this point. Someone who at the very beginning of the year, a lot of people, myself included, thought number one quarterback. But I didn't see any improvement from his sophomore tape. He still struggles at times with ball placement. His accuracy is only okay. Um, he misses some really easy throws. It happened a lot against Auburn. It happened a lot against Georgia Tech, and it happened a lot against Pittsburgh. Uh, so, I mean, those really aren't fantastic defenses, and he was not doing anything to help his cause. Even against Troy, he struggled quite a bit. Um, and he's kind of a slightly built guy. He's 6'2", 6'3", just a shade over 200 pounds. He needs to, if he can go into the combine and be about 215, it would really help his case. A lot of teams don't really like those slightly built quarterbacks. Jared Goff received a lot of flack for that last year, being about 205 or so, just because NFL quarterbacks take a beating, especially dual threat NFL quarterbacks. He needs to put on a little bit of size. He needs to clean up his throws. I right now I would feel more comfortable picking him in round two, because I don't see enough that would warrant a first round selection for him. He has already declared. He has already graduated. Um, yeah, I don't see first round franchise saving quarterback as a label I can put on him. Next up is Brad Kaya, the quarterback from Miami. At the beginning of the year, I had Kaya as a top 10 prospect. I saw enough in his sophomore tape, and I figured that having Mark Richt there would really help his draft stock if he could show that he could run a pro style offense. And while he did have a very good November, where he just tore teams up, the problem is that in September and October he was pretty bad. He was pretty bad. I saw a stat today. He was only able to convert 32% of his third downs this year. That's not good. That's a very low efficiency. Again, another guy on the slight end of things is about 6'2". I think he's about 200 to 205, so kind of like not Kaiser, kind of like Watson in that really small build. Doesn't exactly have great arm. His placement's pretty good, but his arm strength is kind of mediocre. Um, he hinted on Twitter that he was likely to return to Miami. He added a couple of his teammates and went, we doing this again next year or something to the effect of that. But I woke up this morning and Matt Miller said that a source close to him is saying that he's leaning towards declaring. I don't think that would be the right move for Kaya. I think he should return next year, where he can get another year in a pro style offense. He can show more improvement. He can put on a bit more size, improve his arm strength, and then of course he'll be able to have the Senior Bowl to improve his draft stock even more. The Senior Bowl has really helped quarterbacks in the past couple of years show more more progression than going underclassmen. You look at Carson Wentz, Dak Prescott, all of these guys. Jimmy Garoppolo. All these guys were Senior Bowl invites. It really does help having that extra year in college when you're at quarterback. So I would recommend that Kaya actually stay in school. Whether or not he does remains to be seen. Right now, I've got him at 45th overall, so kind of that mid-second round pick. But I'm hearing that he might even fall into the third and fourth round. So if he's smart, he goes back for a year. And even though he's my top 50 player to me, I still would say that he should go back. And last but not least is the only senior on this list is Davis Webb, the quarterback from California. Davis Webb was a graduate transfer from Texas Tech. He left once Patrick Mahomes received the starting job. Many thought that he was going to go to Colorado at the beginning of the year, and then he decided to go to Cal. I was okay with that because I'm a California Golden Bears fan. And, I mean, the kid's got an arm. He's got the best arm out of all the Senior Bowl quarterbacks that are going there. He's probably going to be the best quarterback at the Senior Bowl, which is not saying much. It's not a very good class, and the senior quarterback class is trash. But that fifth quarterback spot for me was really hard to decide who to put where. And ultimately, I settled on Webb because between him, Luke Falk, Mason Rudolph, and Patrick Mahomes, which one I would trust sooner and I feel would need less development at the next level was Davis Webb. Plus, he has the best size out of all of them. He's 6'5", he's 230, he can move a bit, he's got a cannon for an arm. I seem to have a bit more trust in Davis Webb than anything, and I really hope he shows out at the Senior Bowl and can maybe strengthen his case to kind of move into that second tier of quarterbacks instead of a distant third tier. Yeah, like I said at the top of the video, this is not a very good class at quarterback. It's even worse when it comes to seniors. Um, I think it's slightly better than 2015 as far as depth, but unlike 2015 where we had Mariota and Winston at the top, there really is just Mitch Trubisky, then a big drop off to the next year, then an even bigger drop off. Whereas in 2015 we had the top two and then a huge drop off. So yeah, there's my quick take on the 2017 quarterback class for the draft. Tomorrow, we'll see what you guys post. I'm going to post a link to my Twitter in the account down low. I will put up polls on days where I'm going to be making videos, and you can decide what you guys want to see. Leave your feedback down in the comments section. I like hearing what you guys have to say. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Follow me on Twitter, and I'll talk to you guys again soon.